Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night, time for another live Wicked Horror Show. I'm Kevin, and as always, I'm joined by Tony Has Nine Fingers.
What is going on, people?
And we are waiting for some of our special guests. While I was pushing us live, one of our special guests did show up. I'm going to just add him now.
Yes.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
All right. Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. That's not always usual for me. So we're going good in the beginning. I'm Eric. How are you all?
We're doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. I realized that I had to go through the browser on Chrome to make it work. So that's why I'm a little late, because it just didn't do anything when I just clicked on it. And then so we're good now.
Nice.
How are you all doing tonight?
Pretty good. So you're a producer and a co-director of the movie, right?
Yes.
Nice. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the movie?
Sure. I mean, I can. Have you all seen the movie at all?
I got to watch it today.
Oh, okay. Basically, New Fear's Eve. It's created in PJ's mind. He came up with a story when we were doing 13 Slays Till Christmas. He was driving along, and New Fear's Eve popped in his head, and he thought, well, that's pretty cool sounding. And so he thought, well, so he got on set, and he's like, hey, man, I came up with this concept, this new idea. And I'm like, dude, I got enough going on my plate with this film. Can we get done with this thing and then move on? But New Fear's Eve basically is about three best friends who are all actually co-workers and basically realize that they are run into the same character, and they are all having to, their boss isn't the nicest guy in the world, and they are all having to go to a mandatory New Year's Eve party at their office. And the person in question that they've all ran into pretty much locks down the office during the party, and all kinds of havoc ensues.
Yes. I was right when this movie started. I had a question. I'm like, does this movie have like the most kills in the first 5 minutes? Like, is there an award for that or a record for that? Because I watch it.
Well,
like,
a lot of that came from there were originally only 19 kills in the film, but due to Dave Sheridan, Felissa Rose came on early to be in the film, but also to help produce. So in order to help make money for the film, they allowed us to set things on the Indiegogo. Hey, there he is. For people to come on set, be killed in a scene with Felissa, be in a scene with Felissa or Dave. And when we finally had to cut it off because so many people were signing up for it, and that's where a lot of the kills came from. Past the original 19, were all trying to fulfill the Indiegogo perks that had come because of Dave and Felissa.
That's pretty awesome, though.
Oh yeah, we were excited. Trust me, it's a lot better to have to cut off and be sitting there going, "Hey, how we're going to make this? Nobody's doing it."
Yeah, and we just want to welcome PJ Starks to the episode. He was having a little technical issues, but yeah, welcome to the episode.
Hey, what's going on?
And you're the writer, producer, and director of the movie as well. And yeah, Eric was just giving us a little rundown of what the movie was about, and Tony was mentioning how many kills there were in the first 15 minutes of the movie. Just
not even 15. It was like the 3 minutes. It was just like I was gonna say, is there like a record for the most kills in the first like 3 minutes of the movie? I'm like, oh, okay. I
I
know.
have no idea, but what's funny was after somebody at one of the film festivals when they watched it, they put a letterbox review up. This was during the festival run, but they said I've never watched a movie that was so ready to be covered by the Kill Count podcast.
Mm.
Nice.
And now whether or not they'll ever do it, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, there's a few deaths in the movie.
Yeah, a couple.
Maybe one or two or 25 or
Or
something.
40.
And
Is there 40?
There's over 40 kills in the movie, yeah.
Wow.
and the cool thing is like none are like exactly the same. There's so much like different from each other. It's not like it's like, oh, okay, well this one's just a little bit different than this one. Each one has its own like special
Yeah.
specialness to it. So I
Well,
appreciated
I'm
that.
a stickler about that. When Eric, like I heard Eric talking about the whole doing the get killed in the film, and I told him when we opened the door to that if we're going to do it, we're going to commit, and each kill is going to be individualized. It has to be, because I didn't want to cheapen the experience, not just for the people who are paying to get killed in the film, but also for ultimately the people who will be watching the movie, because I'm a gore hound and I love a body count movie, especially when the kills are all very unique, or like you were saying, different from one another. I think that makes a slasher film that much more interesting. So from the get go, that was one of my stipulations. Like, this is how we have to do it. We're gonna have this many people get killed in the film. I don't want to cheat.
Now with the stipulation of the people that bought into the what was it, Indiegogo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did they get to like write in their own death? It's like, oh, if I'm gonna, I want to die this way, or you kind of had it a say in that more.
No, nobody got a say as to how they got killed. They just what they were getting was, it was twofold. They're supporting the film, but ultimately getting killed in the movie. Like, that's what. So most of them didn't even find out how they were going to die until they were on set. And what was funny, and this was kind of across the board, and I think a lot of the people you could talk to, because this was our experience when we were shooting the movie, is a lot of them expected to just come in and then just be like a body in the background somewhere and have blood thrown on them. So when they were suddenly realized that, oh, they're getting a kill that's right in front of the camera and it's done in multiple angles, or have to do it in multiple takes with different layers of effects, and some of them actually had to like go off and get prosthetics put on, they were all just floored. They weren't expecting that at all. So that right there told us that we were doing it right.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll get those like off-screen kills where it's like implied, and it's like, oh no, and then like you said, like a splash on the wall of blood or whatever. It's like, I'm sure they're like ready for that, and then it's like, no, okay, get in that chair. It's gonna take about like an hour to put the prosthetics on. So
yeah.
So for those who don't know, we're talking about New Year's Eve, and it's streaming right now. Tony saw it on Amazon Prime. Is it streaming anywhere else?
Oh yeah, it's on Google TV. It's a Screenbox exclusive. It's on Plex. It's on Roku. PJ, you said there was a new one. We just found out it was on
Fandango at Home.
Fandango at Home, and what's the new one?
Hoopla was another one.
Yeah, that's the other one.
And there was I want to say there was another one that it just popped up on. It's on multiple different YouTube TV and then Google Play.
TV.
Yeah, Eric kind of married the two together, but yeah, it's those two. And there's another. I want to say there's one more, but there's a website called Just Streaming. So if anybody's ever like curious as to what platforms a movie is streaming on, you can look at it there. And it even breaks it down for you as like, what platforms offer standard definition, high definition, free options, stuff like that. So that's a good resource.
I think on Screenbox they're still offering a 7-day free trial
Oh,
if
Mhm.
you do that, so you're not having to pay for it. So
and we have someone in the chat that's actually coming from Scotland. Do you know if it's streaming in the UK at all?
well, if it is, we don't know anything about it.
Right now, it's just North America,
Okay.
but we
Right,
are in the process of working on securing international
right.
distribution. So
Okay.
we're hoping within the coming months we'll have an
Yeah.
announcement to make about that.
Nice. Also, I just want to point out Sergio's in the chat saying hi to everyone. What's going on,
Hello.
Serge?
No.
And yeah, so I have the trailer. I'm going to play it a little bit later, but I did grab the trailer. It looks awesome. I definitely have to check it out. I just grabbed it today, and I was just like, yeah, I gotta check this out. I thought it was only on Screenbox, so I was like, I don't have Screenbox, but
Yeah.
now it's all these other places, and now I have to
Right.
just decide where I want to watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's there's a bunch of different places you can go check it out. So
Are you guys ever gonna do like a physical media release?
Eric,
Well,
I'll let you take
actually,
this one.
all right. Actually, we do not have the physical rights.
Oh,
We do have theatrical rights. Now, we did get um, in the contract. We were able to secure to make our own Blu-rays to fulfill the Indiegogo Blu-rays.
oh,
But that is all we got, and the amount we gave them the amount that we needed, plus we put a buffer on there of just a few to make sure we didn't miss anything. So we won't have anything for sale. Now, will they do physical? I think it's something they may do, but it's all going to depend on the viewers out there. The more people that watch it and give, the great reviews that we've been getting and keep doing, the more apt for them to put the physical out there. So if you're a physical junkie of indie horror, you need to watch the film streaming and go and put a review out somewhere, because that's what's going to draw their attention, whether they're going to do a run of Blu-rays, DVDs, or whatever they may do.
put in your review like I would love a physical copy.
Hey, that's fine. That works for
Yeah,
me.
that's a great idea,
I
actually.
want to put that on the shelf. I wish I had that on the shelf.
That'll be the first thing you say. You see, this movie really needs a physical media release, and go from there.
I mean, they may already be talking about it or whatever, but unbeknownst to us, if they are, I mean, but that doesn't mean they're not in the process right now. But they haven't let us know anything. But we're just telling people that, just to, I think the bigger the response they get from streaming, the more apt they're going to think, hey, they'll make money off the physical, so they'll be more apt to put it out there.
Yeah.
So where did this idea come from? Like, I know you did a Christmas movie beforehand. Now you're bringing a New Year's. Is it going to be like every holiday? Should we expect like a killer Easter bunny at some point in time?
Maybe. I wouldn't say never. It wasn't necessarily on purpose. When we were filming 13 Slays Till Christmas, and Eric can tell you this, I'm always coming up with ideas like nonstop. I've laid off recently, but normally if I come up with an idea, I'll
quit
text him or
listening.
I'll email him the
I quit
synopsis
listening.
for an idea, and I'll be like, hey, we should do this. So we were like in the deep in production on 13 Slays Till Christmas, and I was just driving and I came up with the title, New Fear's Eve, and I thought, well, that's kind of a cool title, but I didn't know what the story was or anything. Came up with like a basic concept for it, and then I went to Eric, was like, hey, we should, I had this idea for this movie called New Fear's Eve, and he's like, oh, fuck me, can we not just finish this movie, please?
Yeah,
so I took that.
That's the second time they've heard that tonight.
Yeah. So I threw that on the shelf, and then after 13 Slaves came out, for us it was a success in the sense that it got a lot of praise and it did really well on streaming. So Eric just came to me and said, hey, that idea you'd come up with, that New Fear's Eve or whatever, let's look at maybe doing that. So pulled the idea, dusted it off the shelf, and retooled it because originally it was going to be an anthology, but we kind of decided between 13th Place Till Christmas and then ultimately what we were going to try to do for our next movie. We wanted to go in a couple different directions, and because of that, it turned into a single narrative feature.
Nice. Now you said you did like screenings of it beforehand. How'd those go?
We did a festival run.
Yeah.
And it went overall, I would say it was really successful. We won about 15 awards across different areas. Every screening we went to, everybody enjoyed it in some way. The very first screening, I would say, was the one screening where we had a hard time gauging the audience's reactions. It was in Chicago.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like, even though it was Chicago Horror Film Festival, I don't know if it was that people didn't know how to take the film, or maybe their sense of humor is more refined up north. But and they want more than just dicks and farts. But that was probably the most interesting screening that we had, where we just didn't know how to take how the audience felt watching the film with them.
I really don't think that the audience realized they were getting ready to watch a comedy horror. And I think it threw everybody off. Because, I mean, we were fresh out there, new out there, so a lot of people didn't know, but they were there, so they're going to watch the next film in the series. So I think it threw a lot of people off because there was a lot of hit and miss on comedy from, us showing the premiere here and some other places we'd showed it. And it was pretty deadpan there at times. And even PJ will tell you, there's a lady in front of us that made a comment, and I just cringed and went down in my seat. I really just think that the people didn't realize what they were getting ready to watch, because there is a lot of comedy in this movie.
Agreed.
Yeah, see that there's for people who aren't ready, there is a lot of comedy in it from a horror film standpoint.
Right.
But the other thing too is, and despite what some of the reviews and things are saying, like, because I think for some people they're really overlooking this, because it does have a pretty thick layer of comedy over the more serious undertones. But there is like a really dramatic through line as far as the story happening with the characters and stuff. So there is a lot of like narrative. There is a lot of character development and stuff if you really pay attention, not just to the goofy one-off lines and things. So I think the audience in Chicago was like really paying attention to all of that, and they didn't really care much about the humor. And because all the kills in Chicago got like a huge reaction, so it was like anywhere we went, I would say most of the kills got really good reactions, because it is a fun movie and the kills are not overly serious, so you can have fun with them. And most of the audiences we watched the movie with, they were having fun with the kills, so the kills always got like a good response. Right. The story seemed to, for the most part, get a really good response. It was always like Eric said, the comedy was real hit and miss, depending on where we were at and what people's comedic sensibilities were. But like at one point, there's a certain scene in the movie that I call the American Pie scene, and it involves lotion. And you could have heard a pin drop in the theater in Chicago. And there was like a couple right in front of us, because Eric and I were sitting in the very back of the room. And this girl leans over to the guy and she goes, "What in the fuck are we watching?" And I mean, it was completely quiet in this room when she said that. And Eric's like, "Oh God." And then after that, I pretty much just sat there and got in my own head and was like, everybody hates this movie. This is horrible. This is a terrible screening. So when it was over with, I went outside and called my wife, and she's like all excited. "How did it go?" And I said, "This is the worst screening I've ever had in my life. We should just come home. We never should have come here. I want to stick my head in a wood chipper. And it was like as soon as I hung up the phone, this group of people came over and they're like, we just got out of your screening of New Year's Eve. It was great. We loved it. And we're going on about the characters and the story. And they're like, we really thought this was funny. And I'm like, where were you at? Because I didn't hear you laughing at any point. I don't remember you laughing. But it was like...
Sorry, I'm having dog issues, guys. Go on, get.
But yeah, so it was like after that, the whole air of the event kind of changed, and everybody we talked to was like they had a lot of really good things to say about the movie, and there was a lot of praise and accolades. And then we went on to win Best Horror Comedy at the festival. So I don't know, it was a really bizarre, like bipolar situation, but in all, it was a lot of fun. Like once we got through the screening and realized that most everybody who did watch it seemed to enjoy it. But that was even before we had the actual premiere.
Yeah, it was amazing the amount of people that came up to us after the film, after we felt that really the audience didn't, not that they didn't care for it, but we didn't get the responses we expected to. But everybody was coming up praising us. Can we get a picture with you? What's your next project? It was amazing the amount of people came up afterwards. But during the film, we didn't feel like many people really cared for what they were watching. But so it was really good. We ended up having a great time there, and I mean, people were fantastic. And it was just watching it with them, though. It was a little like, what's happening? What's going on?
Some people,
why do you hate our movie?
Yeah, that was him, not me.
Like I don't laugh out loud. Like I'm like, I don't know. Like even if I go to a stand-up comedy show, like I'll laugh, but I'm not like audible. You know what I mean? So a comic might think that I think they suck, but I'll go up to them. I'm like, you were awesome. Like really? You didn't laugh once. So I'm like, no, I thought you were great. Like, so maybe there was just a lot of people that were just like, this is great.
It was a room full of Kevin.
I think it was just us being us is what it was, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
It could be just like proper theater etiquette, which most people should. Don't go too crazy, so then everybody can watch it and enjoy it, and then after, okay.
Meanwhile, people that made the film are having a panic attack in the back of the theater.
He was for sure.
Now, talking about character development, there's a lot of people in this movie, so it's like, especially like going through, there's some that are just like little side characters, but they get called out in that one scene with Mr. Dave Sheridan. That I laughed at a lot, just because. But then there's other ones like towards the end of the movie, it's like, oh, okay, there's someone new, and then it's like, you gave them a little story for each. I appreciated that, because sometimes it's like, I need to somewhat care if some people are gonna, get the axe or whatever. It's just like, okay, just some random person. All right, well. But then, you had enough to, didn't need the whole story, like of their whole entire life, but enough. And then it's like, oh, okay, hello, okay. So.
Yeah, when I wrote the script, I mean, the main focus was obviously the main three characters. And then you do have that sub-story that's about the police and the FBI. And that's really more so to kind of support the secondary story where the doctor is kind of the main character of that sub-story. But yeah, I mean, I feel like most people have worked in an office, and whenever I wrote the script, I wanted to create characters of different types of people that we all kind of experience at some point in the workplace, and kind of give them their own stage. And it was what you said. It was like, there are cannon fodder characters. Don't get me wrong. There are characters that have zero development. They're there just to die. But the ones that kind of are reoccurring, they play more of a part, if not kind of in their own part of the movie, or the purpose they serve is to back up the overall story arc that's happening with the three main leads. So that was the purpose of having all these different characters. But a lot of the characters that got killed, at least 23 of them, were because of Indiegogo. So at that point, the cast went up a little bit.
23 kills were the Indiegogo kills?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And what's funny,
big,
Yeah.
yeah, and we weren't expecting that at all. It was like when we put it out there, we figured maybe a few people, handful at best, would do it. But it seemed like one after the other, people were grabbing this perk, and we were doing it in limited amounts at a time, but it would sell out really quickly, and then we'd go, okay, well, we'll put 5 more out. Surely this won't go, and the next thing you know, all 5 of those are gone. So then we're like, let's test the waters and see what happens. So we throw 5 more out, and then surely not all 5 of those are going to go, and then they're gone. And then it finally got to a point where, while
I got mad and said, "Cut it off."
well, it was like he didn't get a whole lot of pushback from me because while the money was nice to get to be able to support the film, and it also that helped elevate what we were trying to do, because we budgeted the film at this, and we ended up getting quite a bit more than what we were expecting, and of course all that went on screen. But yeah, it got to a point where I was having to try to figure out organically how to add deaths into the script that weren't there, because there was already 19 originally, and then next thing you know, we get 23 more. And I started to struggle, because that was the other thing too. Like, the doctor's modus operandi is that he kills people using surgical implements. Well, there's only so much you can do, even with 19 kills, and now I got to think of like 23 more ways of doing it. Eventually, I ran out of ways of killing people medically, so I'm like, fuck it. He finds a double-sided axe, or he kills 3 people all at once with a single scalpel swipe. Because that was the other thing. It was like, even his signature weapon is like, I'm trying to find interesting or unique ways of how he's killing people with it. So, Eric didn't get any arguments from me by the time we hit 23, and he's like, we probably need to cut this off. And I was like, yeah, no, you're right. We do. So we stopped.
Yeah.
Well, we film on the weekends, so it becomes a timing issue too. We only have Friday afternoon through Sunday night, and if we keep having to do more and more kills, then that's that many more crew and food and stuff, the more we have to do. So it's, even though we were making money off of it, it kind of became like, are we going to have time with this? Is it going to be worth the money if we keep going with this? So I'm glad we cut it off when we did, but I'm glad we didn't do it any earlier, because what we had worked out.
Yeah. And also, if you did too much, it's almost like, does it cheapen it? And because having to come up with original ideas and stuff like that, I can imagine that being very daunting, and like feeling like, we still need to keep this interesting to the point where it's, going to look good, and people are going to be like, okay, they're just doing this to do this kind of deal.
Yeah.
Right. But, and that was one of the things that, like, early on when we were talking to people about when we were making the movie, because one of the points of interest, we would say, oh, we have over 40 kills in the movie. And what you have happen at that point is, you're like, so if you have 40 kills and it's an hour-and-a-half movie, that's a kill every like 2.5 minutes or whatever. And how much story can you really have if you're having to spend time killing all these people? So then some people are like, what kind of movie are you making? Is it even going to have a story? So then that starts to concern me, because that's the other thing, is like, it is very story heavy. And one of the funny things is like, after I got done editing the movie, and Eric hadn't even seen it yet, but like, one of the things I said to him was, I was like, I have to be honest, like, my worry was, is it going to feel like we're just killing a bunch of people for the sake of having deaths in the film? But there's so much story there, and the kills, where they happen and when they happen, it doesn't feel like an overabundance of murder happening. So I thought, even with 40 kills in an hour and a half, like, there was a good balance there on how it all goes down. So I told Eric, I was like, at no point to me does it feel like it's just, there are some scenes where it's just kill, 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 but it doesn't necessarily feel like it detracts from the movie in the sense that like it's just there for fluff. So, so I was happy about that.
That's one thing I think I like, the difference of us going, and one of the reasons we wanted to do a single narrative is we wanted to go bigger and better. And so we needed to change things to go a little better. So when he decided to do a single narrative, that gave the opportunity for us to build more on character, to work with the actors more than we had before. We did rehearsals that we never did before, because you don't really get that character build when you're doing a 4-minute segment or a 3-minute segment or 5, whatever. And then it's a good way to mix comedy, the dialogue, the character building, the gore, the different kills, and to be able to bring in, like you said, people at the end of the movie where you can't, in a short, you have to get it in there, punch, done. And I think it's kind of almost steered me away from wanting to do anthologies. Not saying we won't or I won't, but I like how the difference with after doing anthologies to this. I like how the good mix of his writing and how everything fleshes together so well. You get time to do more than doing a bunch of shorts all together. So I think it worked really well.
Nice. Well, I do have the trailer. I do want to play that. Sergio's been asking for it. So,
okay.
Yeah. So here we go. Here's the trailer. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
From the studio that unleashed and the creator of comes a twisted horror comedy written and directed by 2 dudes you'll probably have to Google.
We're both gay. Looks like we got a surplus. As you know, I do the end of the year corporate call. Here's the long and the short of it. We're gonna need to trim some fat around.
What about tomorrow's New Year's Eve party? Cancel that.
I'm taking away people's jobs. I'm not gonna take away their party. I'm not a monster.
Yeah, seriously, he's not like a conniving, limp piece of hole.
Yeah, there was a lot of specific in that.
I'm in a kind of precarious sort of situation.
Does this situation rhyme with Brian?
Leslie is the ultimate package.
You can't cheat fate. You and Nick were never supposed to be together.
You're young enough now to avoid that.
Tomorrow I have this stupid mandatory work
Party! You look scary familiar.
We work together. I give you your spreadsheets.
I'm the only one that spreads her sheets.
Hey, buddy, you're not supposed to be in here this late. I don't know who you are. You have to come back during business hours. What do you want?
We have a serial killer on our hands.
What's going on? Where is everybody?
People have been murdered.
There you go. Tony's laughing already.
Yeah,
and there's also a Red Band trailer for anybody who's worried. That it's funny, like when we signed with Cineverse, one of the first things they said to us was, "We're going to need you to put together a G-rated trailer." And I was like, "A G-rated trailer? What the fuck are you talking about?" Like,
how in the hell?
this is a horror comedy that is chocked full of dick and fart jokes and steaming jokes, and it's got all this blood and gore in it. How the hell am I going to put a G-rated trailer together? Well, that's it. I managed to do it, but you can ask Eric. Like, I was stressed to the max trying to figure out, was I going to be able to put this thing together? I was calling him going, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't even know what I'm going to put in it because all the good stuff it's not G-rated.
I enjoyed it. I thought the beeping of Felicia's lines was very funny.
And it was tough because it's like coming up with ideas like that. I was like, okay, that makes it kind of comedic, the hammer thing at the very end.
they basically wanted us to take that hammer out because it showed blood on his head.
Really?
Yeah, it was funny. They came back. They didn't want any blood in it at all. They did come back after I sent that to them. I said, "Look, the best I could do was a PG rated because I felt like some of the jokes in that one were not necessarily G." And they came back and they said, "This will work, but is there any way you can remove the blood from his face at the end of the trailer?" We really like the hammer part, but yeah, and I was like, no, I think I was getting ready to like go out of town for a week or something. And I said, no, there's absolutely no way I would be able to do that. So they went with it and it got out there. But there is a Red Band trailer that's got all the cussing and violence and more edgier humor in it, I guess you could say. If anybody's interested in checking that
What
out.
they think your target audience was like 8-year-old children or something like that? It's just like
That being said, I'm sold on that trailer. I don't know. I want to see it.
Okay, well, cool. It did its job.
Good.
But that's like having sat on the movie for so long, and then we did put a few early trailers out that kind of had pretty much whatever we wanted to put in it. We try not to give away the farm in the trailer like so many other trailers have, but we wanted to, at least put a few of the things in there. And so I think part of it too is just like somebody trying to tell you how to do it, what you want to do with your movie. I think part of it was probably that, but their explanation made sense because like there are platforms that they won't show your trailer if it's got excessive violence or cussing, or they'll limit the availability or ability to watch the trailer, or it won't get recommended and stuff like that. So when you do a G or a PG rated trailer, the chances that it maximizes the opportunities for exposure, and that's the reason why they wanted to go that route. Because, like I said, right after they released the G rated trailer, they turned around and they said, "Okay, now give us a Red Band trailer." So then I gave them that, and of course, Bloody Disgusting, which is underneath their banner, turned around and released the Red Band trailer not long after I put that together. So I was happy with that getting out there.
Yeah, there was a few in that trailer that brought me back to the movie, and I'm like, yeah, those couple scenes in there, I laughed out loud as I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, okay. And Felicia's character is like, I loved her character to the thing. The one thing I appreciated too is you have the mainstream people we've seen before, like Felissa and Hannah and Dave, and then there was a few people in here that I've never heard of before, and they were some of the main characters. So where'd you find them? Have you worked with them before? Was it an open casting call, or how'd that go?
Yeah. I mean, we always do casting calls for our films. To give you an example on what you were talking about, like the redheaded girl in the kind of the torture scene, not giving anything away, giving it away. That's Ronnie Jonah, and then Jason Crow. He had the longer hair with the hat and had the ball bat. They've been in almost every film we've done. So they're great, and we know if something we're when PJ writes a script, or if I've got a short or whatever, if we think a lot of these people we've worked with in the past, like, hey, well, Jason could do this, Ronnie could do this. But like Lily and Turner and Matthew, the three main characters, we'd never worked before. We got them going through auditions. Of course, Lily and Matthew both live here in Owensboro, and Turner only lives like an hour away. And then the doctor, he had just moved to Owensboro from Cincinnati and saw it online and thought he'd come give it a try. And we really didn't have anything for him at the time because of his age, but he was the size of the doctor. And PJ's like, hey, man, would you want to do this? He's like, oh, yeah, sure. And then, but he nailed his audition. He was great. Jesse is his name, Jesse McDonald. And we just loved him. He did a great job. So PJ wrote he also plays Ned, the drunk boyfriend, Ned. That's the same guy that plays the doctor. No spoilers here, really, but and then like Colin, the dickhead boyfriend. we'd never worked with him before, and he came to audition, and we've just always, PJ and I've always been really lucky getting the characters, the actors we need to fulfill the characters. And like with Dave and Felissa, Jeffrey and Hannah, all them came in, nailed their roles, and we took a chance on Matthew and all of them. We've never worked with them, and they were the main characters, and I think all of them did a great job. And Emily McNulty came in, and she's been in our films before. She played Mr. Dugan's wife. Um, so there was just so many people that came in that we have worked with before, and we know their abilities, and we know they're easy to work with or fun to work with. So we've used them more than once. But it's been, I don't want to say we've been lucky, and we've just, that was our fourth feature film. We just know what we're looking for. And I guess we've been lucky. The right people have showed up at the right time.
Yeah, especially with like indie film, that's what you need. Like all you need is finding, thinking you have the right, person cast, and then it comes down to it, and it's like, well, maybe we made the wrong decision or something like that. It's just like, if you can cut out a little bit of stress here, because there's enough. How many stories have we heard trying to make films, especially like, lower budget stuff? If you can cut out a little headache here, then you can worry about like a bit bigger headache here kind of deal.
But I can't go away from mentioning Jay Woolston, who played one of the cops, and Alyssa, who played his partner. They've also been in multiple roles for us before, and we, anytime there's a role that we think they can fill, we call them up and let them read the script, and if they want to come on, and then that's how they got on, as well as Jason and Ronnie. They've just been there, and they've been solid actors, PJ, and so we've used them more than once. I mean, Jay's been in more than one of our things. Alyssa, and then I was like Jason and Ronnie and Alyssa. We didn't have Kevin Roach in this one, but he's been in most of ours. So Christopher Bauer is another one that always comes in. Nezero, he was the head cop at the end. That come out, big tall guy. He's been in numerous amounts of our films, and these are just go-to actors that are just great at what they do, and we love having them on set, and we know we can depend on them, and can't wait to work with them again.
Yeah, they all did really good, and they nailed what they had to. And the one thing I appreciated too, as much as some people are horror enthusiasts, and it's like, I don't want any comedy in my horror or whatever. Like, I appreciate the one-liners and the stuff like that. Like, this one had more comedy than I've seen in other things, but I loved it. I'm that kind of person, that if I could laugh and then get scared, but if I can laugh and grin at the same time, then you're doing it right. Because there was a few times I was
thank you.
And trying to laugh, and it's just like, what emotion am I feeling right now? It's like, okay,
You should go leave a review when you mention that you want a physical copy.
I will.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, there you go. Make sure you do that. Oh, and I got to throw another, Sonia Delormier. She's another one that's just great to work with and comes on, and it's just so much fun to work with. And she's just, man, she just gets on set and she does it. It's great working with her as well. I feel like I'm leaving out so many people. So many people have helped us along the way, and there were parts of this film, but I don't want to leave anybody out. But everybody came in and did a great job.
Nice. I definitely have to
That's
check.
That's Eric's way of saying if he didn't mention you, then he thought you sucked in the movie.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. Well, another newcomers, Evander Hodges and Noelle Shelton. They were the mother and daughter in the Jeep at the garage, and Noelle, she was actually showing us a location because her boss wasn't there that day, and her personality, and we needed somebody around her age. And I just looked at him and I was like, hey, do you mind me asking you a personal question? She's like, sure. Have you ever acted before? And so next thing you know, that night, PJ sent her an email to do a side for us, and she's a young lady in the car. We'd never worked with her before, and we'd never worked with a vendor either. And she's an actress out of Lexington. She does a lot of theater, and they both came in, and man, it was both their portrayals were unreal.
Agreed.
What's next for you guys? What's in the works?
Oh, I'm looking for a new partner.
Yeah. Look, I've worked with him long enough to know he ain't gonna find one.
Yeah. No. Honestly, right now we're just kind of riding it out, see how New Year's Eve is going to go. PJ does have a New Year's Eve 2 up in his brain, and we've worked out a few things on paper, some jokes and some little scenes and kills that we could do along the way with his storyline. That's where we would like to go. We would love to, we want to go to that next level with this, like we did with New Year's Eve compared to the other three. We know what it's going to take to do that, so we're going to need some help and some backing from someone. It'd be nice maybe if something, goes really well with this, with Cineverse and Bloody Disgusting, if they would get on board to help us out, that would be great.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, wink, wink. But we just know we're going to need that. I mean, we've already had a lot of people asking us, is there going to be a New Year's Eve 2? A lot of people are like, they want to know, who the doctor is, what, at the end, what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. So we've got so many questions already about New Year's Eve 2. PJ's already got it in his head. So that's where we would like to go. But right now, like I said, we're just riding out, see how New Year's Eve goes. Now, we were going to do a Volumes of Blood 3 after the first two, and we ended up doing 13 Slays. So if something doesn't work out, we will do another film. But we would really love to go ahead and jump on New Year's Eve 2 and do that. But right now, like I said, we want to be on set right now. At PJ, I'll vouch for me on that. It's been too long. But we'll be doing something. When and what, we just don't know.
So when did the movie wrap ups?
What was that? May of 2024, PJ?
Well, we finished filming in July of 24, and then the movie was done, edited, and we were sending it off in April or May I'm sorry. We finished filming in 23. So July of 23, and then April or May of 24 is when the edit was done, and then we sent it off to get color corrected and the sound design done. But we also started sending out early at that point, like sending out early screeners to festivals and stuff. So we were able
to do our first premiere with the colorization and the sound design done in June of 24. So that tells you.
Well, no, the Chicago screening, it was the sound design and the color correction.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. I thought that was. Yeah. Oh, okay. But that was later
the June. But I don't think we used the Dolby. We had not a Dolby, but we had a 5.1 surround mix done for the film. Yeah. So we did use that for the premiere, but all the initial screening in Chicago, I think it was just like a stereo mix. But yeah, we're definitely ready to get back on set. And like Eric was saying, I have the whole entire storyline fleshed out, and I've written about 11 pages, mostly back and forth dialogue or kills or things like that. Like I've got it kind of mapped out as far as like where the story is going to go. And Eric doesn't know this yet because it just happened today, but I actually came up with an idea for if we were to do a part 3, this is how we could do it to where it makes sense for the story. So yeah, but we have to be
I'm busy. I'm busy that month.
Oh, it's fine. I'll be working with Jason Blum at that point, and it'll be okay. It'll be a Blumhouse production. So New Year's Eve 3 will be in space, and it'll be PG-13.
Y'all need to edit this and put the dream sequence music and stuff going over the screen.
That's probably a reference that nobody will get. But anyway.
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
there
cool.
You go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing's worse than like making a comedy, like a comedic reference, and being the only person in the room that understands it. But
see, remember, he doesn't laugh.
I didn't.
Oh yeah.
Wayne's World.
Is it Wayne's World?
There you go, Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Like dream thing though.
Yeah.
But I will say I've come up with some kills that I'm like really excited about. So I really hope that we get the ability to do a sequel because it really does kind of take things to the next level in a lot of ways. There's a lot bigger comedic set pieces, and I almost like the story even better than what was in the first movie. So yeah, hopefully this one does well enough to where or we, if anybody out there has any expendable income and you're independently wealthy and you want to get behind what we're doing and make some dreams come true and be a part of the ride, then yeah, I think now's the time.
Well, that's
Notice how that
of
Blumhouse got thrown right out the window just then.
Right.
But the beauty is, you know, you got the first one out there, and I loved it, and it's it left it open for a future one, and it's you'll get that. That's the thing with, and I'm
Or
not
did it?
complaining. Yeah. But
yeah, it's gonna suck like if we never get to make a part 2 because I've seen a lot of like letterboxd reviews where people have made comments about, man, I really hope we get a sequel so we know what happens next. Because I've watched movies that I love that set it up to have the story continue, and then they just never made the sequel, or I guess didn't get the idea funded or whatever the case may be. And I always am bummed out about that because I'm like, really would love to have seen where they would take things next with the story. So I read these people's reviews where it says, "Oh, I can't wait for the sequel," or "I really hope it's a sequel," and I'm like, "Or there's going to be a sequel?" And I think, I hope you're right. I really hope you are, because I would hate for you to like be bummed out that there's not a sequel. So, because I would be bummed out as well.
On that note, if people want to keep ties on the news and if there's going to be a sequel, where can people go to follow you or either of you? And you get where you're picking up what I'm putting down, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Eric,
people
what are you talking about?
People can go to Blood Moon. Yeah, I'm not sure. Who are you again? People can go to bloodmoonpictures.com. All our films are on there. Click on the films that'll pretty much take you to anywhere you can, either buy them or lease them, rent them. You can also follow us. Blood Moon Pictures has its own Facebook page. PJ has a Facebook page. I have a Facebook page. Pretty much 75% of everything we do at this time is through Facebook. Our auditions, what's happening with the film, what's coming up next with us. We do have an Instagram page, which is Blood Moon Pictures 15, that we're starting to throw more stuff out there and getting some followers. We have a New Fear's Eve Instagram page, and it's New Fear's Eve Movie. That is that page. Pretty much right now, that's the basics. We do have a Twitter page that is formed but not used at this point. Hopefully that'll be in the near future as well. But that's basically the best way to do it, through Facebook or through Instagram at this point.
Yes. Tony, where can people go to follow you?
You can find me at Tony Has Nine Fingers on YouTube, which I haven't done a video in a long time, but I have enough backlog to keep you somewhat busy. Tony Has Nine Fingers on X, which I don't use, but it's part of my stick. Tony Has Nine Fingers on TikTok, which is my fastest growing. You'll find me there 95% of the time. So follow me there. Almost to 32,000 followers on there. So
nice.
Slowly building. Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me. And of course, here on the Wicked Horror Show, most Tuesdays, whether we have awesome guests or it's just
it's just PJ and I.
Or it's just you two. No, but just horror movie chit chat or whatever. Check us out. Always check out the live, because you can see trailers and stuff instead of just listening. But you could do both and support us that way. And Kevin.
I just Stay Knuckle on Instagram. And like Tony said, most Tuesdays we're here. Sometimes things happen and we don't have a show or whatever, but we try. And Tuesdays are the live show. Thursdays are when the audio goes up. So Happy New Year to everyone that's listening and watching.
Happy New Year.
Yes, and it's appropriate. The show would have been better if
There you
they
go.
could have done
Happy
last.
New Year.
Yeah. But
They can't all be golden nuggets,
I've been sitting on a bad holiday pun this whole episode, and I haven't said it. I was like, oh, when are you guys going to do an Arbor Slay movie?
Oh,
Like an
Get Eric. We got to change the title now.
I was
Way to
I was trying to think of like a bad holiday like that no one celebrates. And Arbor Day is one of them. So
fuck the
I
tree.
don't know. There could be Arbor Day here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be. But anyways, thanks for watching / listening, and we'll see you guys next time.